Hello, I'm Caroline Goyder. I'm a voice coach, public speaker and the author of The Star Qualities. And we're here today in the Piccadilly Theatre because I'm going to be passing on some top tips for confidence, speaking well and making a really great impression. How to get rid of stage fright. The first thing to think about is what is stage fright, and actually if it's real stage fright it's a serious condition. Laurence Olivier had it and it was very tricky for him. The good news is that most people don't have stage fright. It may feel bad, but actually what you're feeling, if you get pounding heart, shaky hands, sweaty hands, all those horrible things that we all get when we're nervous, you can deal with them. And the good news is that actually when you talk to actors, and I did for my book, The Star Qualities, Helen Mirren, Ewan McGregor, they all have nerves. Now what you have to do with nerves, and they will all tell you, is use them. And it's called getting the butterflies to fly in formation. So you feel these little butterflies fluttering away in your stomach and you have to take them and gather them up and use them so that you do a really great job. And in fact, I'll let you into a secret, which is that if an actor doesn't feel nervous before they go on stage, that's bad, because they know the nerves help them. So the next question is, well, how do you get the butterflies flying in formation? And the main thing you've got to do is really get your body, your breath, your voice under control. So I'm going to give you a few tips and tricks to help with that. The first thing is that if you're feeling nervous, you got to notice what you're doing. Are you saying to yourself things like, I can't do this, I'm going to mess up? Because that little inner critic can be really toxic. So often what actors learn to do is, if you hear yourself saying you're going to mess up, the actor Bill Nye talks back to that little inner critic and he says, well, what if you do a good job, or what if it goes well? And that can really help. You first have to notice, of course, where the voice is. So when you say critical things to yourself, is the voice high or low in your head? Whose voice is it? Perhaps it sounds like your parent, perhaps it sounds like a teacher at school. And then what you can do if you notice that voice is turn it down, make it a bit quieter. I've even known actors turn the voice into Mickey Mouse, which makes it seem a bit ridiculous. So you've got to deal with your inner critic, and then you've got to find an inner coach. And maybe you've got a voice that tells you you're doing well or you're feeling confident. And that voice can really set you up for a good performance. So start noticing that voice and turn up the volume on it. So that's the inner critic. There's another trick that actors use, which is visualization. And again, the actor Bill Nye said to me that when he's got a role that he feels really nervous about, he sits on his back step and he visualizes on a movie screen in his mind the job going really well. He sees how it's going to look when it works. And he also goes back to the past and he remembers, he makes a movie of all the times in his life when he's done a really good job. And seeing a good job in the future and remembering a good job in the past can really boost your confidence when you get those butterflies. So those are the psychological tips and tricks. The really most crucial bit of all, and any actor will tell you this, is that if you feel nervous, you have to learn to breathe. And an actor will tell you that you have to breathe down into the fear, because basically fear rises, and that's why you get shaky voice and your heart beats faster. So you have to learn to breathe into your stomach. And you can do it by just putting a hand on your stomach and just feeling that as you breathe in, the stomach moves away from the spine. And then as you breathe out, the stomach moves back to the spine. And it's a bit like filling up an air balloon. And you fill up the air balloon on the in-breath and you empty it on the out-breath. And I tell clients you can practice that on the bus, you can practice it while you're watching TV, and the thing to know is that if you breathe like that, your nerves will start to go. The final tip is to remember that people always want you to do well. The actor Ewan McGregor told me that one night he completely dried on stage. He forgot his lines and he was very, very worried about going back on stage afterwards. And another of the actors told him, the thing with live performance is that things might go wrong. That's the way it goes, but the audience really only ever want you to do well. So you just have to prepare and then relax and give up the control and just let it happen. And if things do go wrong, that's life. You'll cope. And I think remembering that can really give you confidence. So those are my tips and tricks for stage fright, and do remember, nerves are normal, they can help your performance, and what you have to do is get the butterflies to fly in formation.